We'll now hear the opposition if there's no further supporters. And can we have the opposition come forward, please? We want the spokespersons, please. Welcome. Okay. Okay. Speakers and opposed, please. Who wants to start? Okay, hold on.
In the name of the God, I wrote very briefly 4 items, which is most important, so I bring up to your attention. My name is Mohamed Dasmalchi. I am the president of Union Taxi Drivers in San Francisco, which is San Francisco International Union of Taxi Drivers. I also executive advisor for airport management. So these 4 items, I just wrote it down very briefly because there is not enough time, but I bring up these 4 items. TNCs and companies like Uber and Lyft are permitted especially treatment under the law, which put taxi drivers at a considerable disadvantage. Number 2, taxis are required to carry insurance plus fee, but TNC do not. Number 3, without regulation, more TNC vehicles operated on the road. This means more traffic pollution and accident, which is bad for everyone. Number 4, TNC drivers need screening and proper training to ensure public safety, which is more important than anything else. So please vote no on AB 828. Thank you, Honor, and thank you very much for your time to give it to us.
Thank you. Other speakers, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. Angie Wei on behalf of the California Labor Federation with respectful opposition to this measure. First, we'd like to say that we appreciate the ongoing communication we've had with the author's office about our concerns in the bill. He has spent considerable time listening to our concerns. We do respectfully disagree with the bill on its merits today. A few reasons. Number 1 is, as the analysis in the current law points out, the definition of a commercial vehicle is a motor vehicle used for the transportation of persons for hire or the transportation of property. Basically, if you're moving people, not goods, not services, not pizza deliveries, but you're moving people for profit, you should be considered under existing law a commercial vehicle. Clearly now we've heard from the supporters of the bill that the current law says that you're not a commercial vehicle, DMV has pulled back. Well, if that's the case, what's the need of this bill? Given that the law and the analysis around the use of TNCs is changing now. It's being looked at from a variety of different mechanisms, whether it's the labor commissioners and the issues of employee versus independent contractor, whether it's the paying a fair share for the use of public infrastructure for private profit. These are issues that the legislature is continuing to discuss. Should the legislature today pass a bill to clearly exempt them from the commercial vehicle code, when the code says, and I understand it's a 70-year code, but it says that if you're moving people for profit, you should be considered a commercial vehicle. It's not clear why they do not fall under that definition. It's not clear why the law should be amended to not capture them under that definition. Given that so many things are changing under the guise of the TNCs, we respectfully would discourage the legislature to codify a complete exemption at this point in time, number 1. Number 2, many members here would probably be aware that there's ongoing litigation about whether or not Uber, Lyft, TNC drivers are employees or independent contractors. This bill doesn't answer those questions. None of us are going to answer those questions today. Those are issues before the courts now. What if the courts decide in a final and binding ruling that the drivers for the TNCs are in fact employees? then TNCs are actually operating a fleet of commercial vehicles and should be regulated as such. If this bill were to pass, then they're completely exempted from the commercial vehicle code, and the legislature doesn't have the space to go back and re-examine these issues and figure out what regulatory structure is appropriate. The last point we'd like to make is this. There's a reason why private vehicles using public infrastructure for private profit, there's a reason why they're considered commercial vehicle codes, so that they can pay their fair share to maintain and sustain our public infrastructure. This legislature, especially this committee, through the work of our honorable chair, has been working very hard to figure out how to raise the revenues to fund our ongoing needs for road maintenance and operations. With so many more fleet drivers on the roads through TNCs, should they be paying more of their fair share to maintain the upkeep of our roads? That is one of the reasons why commercial vehicles are keyed and costed by weight, because of the impact, the differing impact that they have on our public infrastructure. Without the use of the commercial vehicles, then there is no shared additional responsibility for TNCs. So we would encourage the legislature, as you're continuing through the special session and finding ways to fund our needed roads, maintenance, and operations, that we should be spending special attention on the TNCs and figuring out, determining what their fair share actually is when they're making a profit off of our public infrastructure. Again, we understand that there's been vast discussions around this measure in this committee, and we appreciate that type of robust discussion. This is a new world economy operating under old world rules, and there has to be a good reason why to change the rules before we run forward with a new economy. We appreciate your time and ask for your opposition here.
Thank you. Other speakers, if you could be brief, please. Excuse me. Other speakers, can you be brief, please? Thank you. I also wanted to announce, before we get down to item 13, AB 904 has been delayed a week. He's pulled it off the agenda today. So AB 904 will not be heard today. So for your information, if you happen to be in the audience for that bill. So please continue, yes.
I'll go next.
Thank you.
My name is Barry Korngold. I'm with the San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance. We strongly oppose this bill because TNC drivers are clearly using their vehicles for a commercial purpose, and there is no reason they should be given a special exemption. The author is wrong that these services are good for the environment and taking cars off the road. To the contrary, cars that would otherwise be parked are now cruising for fares and staging in populated areas. Toyota and GM give special cut rate deals to Uber drivers, adding even more vehicles to the road. Last month, Uber co-founder Travis Kalanick boasted of having 22,000 vehicles on the roads in San Francisco alone. This includes non-hybrid SUVs, pickup trucks, vans, and at least one Hummer. This compared to some 2,000 San Francisco taxi cabs, which are required to be hybrid or alternative fuel. It's the cleanest taxi fleet in the country. A Lyft representative told the Mayor's Council last September they have tens of thousands of drivers in San Francisco. Since TNCs have been allowed to operate in 2013, San Francisco has gone from not even being listed as in the American Lung Association's 25 most polluted cities to being number 7 in year-round particulate pollutants. It has also become the second most congested city in the nation, according to GPS developer TomTom. Uber states that 55% of its drivers drive part-time, yet this is unverifiable because Uber will not share these records. Likewise, a part-time driver exemption from commercial registration is unenforceable. We also respectfully disagree that a part-time driver of a passenger vehicle is comparable to a lemonade stand on the corner, as a lemonade stand on the corner does not cause pollution, congestion, or wear and tear to the roads, and does not subject pedestrians and others to multiple-ton vehicles careening down the road while the driver monitors their smartphone. A great many taxi drivers work part-time and also use them for their personal use, carrying their families from place to place. Yet they must register their vehicles commercially.
Okay, thank you.
The author is also wrong when he asserts that the TNCs are on the cutting edge of transportation innovation. Taxi cabs have also had smartphone apps since Uber and Lyft began operating illegally back in 2009. What's innovative about them is not their technology, but that that they've had enough funding to continue breaking the laws that competitors must follow until they can be changed. I respectfully disagree with the analysis that TNCs have been successfully competing with taxi cab, limousines, and other regulated transit operators. They have been allowed to shirk all the rules that law-abiding operators must follow, so it's more accurate to say they've been successfully cheating against other regulated operators. Let's have one set of rules for all to follow, no special treatment for those who've been breaking the law.
Okay, other speakers, please be brief. Be brief so we can get through the hearing. We want to have an even amount of time for each party.
My name is Mark Ruberg. I'm also with San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance. I'm a driver for Green Cab of San Francisco. I think you have to understand that where these companies are coming from. If you go back through the CPUC records of their rulemaking proceeding, you'll see that what we have here is a radical free market philosophy in which these companies initially started out saying that they should not be subject to any regulation whatsoever. And of course, they've had to take some, not nearly the kind of regulation that taxi cabs have. But when it comes to a bill like this, the obligation that they have under the current law, and it is in the current law that they have to do this. It simply entails, first of all, getting what's called a weight certificate. Our company gets these weights. You do it once in the lifetime of the vehicle. It costs $25, and that's so that you know what the weight of the vehicle is for registration purposes. After that, our Toyota Priuses pay $8 a year in addition on their registration. $8 a year. A slightly larger sedan will pay $24 a year extra on the regulation. And that's the whole obligation if this bill does not pass. We're asking very, very little, and this money goes to fix the roads for public purposes. We know that there are over 20,000 Ubers alone in San Francisco. Think of the damage to the roads that this is causing. This money goes to help fix that. So I would just say, you know, there's absolutely no need for legislation like this. It's not imposing anything on these companies or these drivers that they can't easily do. And why give them another more special favored treatment? Thank you.
Yes, sir, be brief, please.
Well, can I just show you these two things? By the way, this over here is a Lyft vehicle. We're starting to see these running around San Francisco.
All right.
I see them every shift.
Maybe we can give them to the sergeant. You want us to
This is a taxi.
You can give them to the sergeant over here, this gentleman.
Chairman Bell, committee members, my name is David Kinney. I represent the Greater California Livery Association. We represent the sedan and limousine companies throughout the state of California. What's nice about going last in a series of witnesses is everyone else has always stolen my thunder, so I don't have a whole lot to say. I don't want to repeat what's been said, with the exception of one particular issue. Why is there a carve-out in the commercial code for one type of transportation provider? Why one type? Why not another type? Why not another type? Why not delivery trucks? Why is there a carve-out for one type of provider? Okay? If we're going to carve it out, let's carve it out for everybody. Okay. GCLA is opposed to this bill. We request your no vote.
Thank you. We have other witnesses lined up, so if we could just say your name, if you're in an organization, and your position on this.
My name is Delia Smith. I'm a taxi driver in San Francisco with Royal Taxi, proud member of San Francisco Taxi Worker Alliance.
Okay.
Last month, I was in a meeting where the Uber and Lyft wanted to have the right to still drive on San Francisco streets between 3rd and 8th, the same as other commercial vehicles. Now they're asking to not be treated like commercial vehicles. Either they are or they're not. They shouldn't. The Muni Transportation Agency in San Francisco rightly did not give them that right. And you would be incorrect at this point if you approve this bill, because they are operating as commercial vehicles and they should pay the same nominal commercial registration costs that Mr. Mark Gruber has already enunciated.
Okay, we want the people here to all you have to do right now, we heard the arguments, okay? So all you have to do is state your name, your affiliation and your position on the bill. Yes, sir. Welcome. And we welcome all the people here. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman, Senate. And I'm a taxi driver. My name is Anwar Fakirian, San Francisco cab driver. I live in Vacaville, Solano County. For 19 years, I've been driving in San Francisco, Oakland. And I go there 6 days, 7 days a week. I put two beautiful kids through college, which is UC Davis. That's why I love Vacaville, and I love what I do in San Francisco. I am against AB 828.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
How you doing, sir? My name is Issa Zagman from San Francisco. I drove a cab for 15 years, drove limos for 5 years. It's all about doing the right thing. I'm against this bill, AB 828. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Abdul Nasser Ali. I've been driving a cab for 20 years. I'm against AB 828. Thank you.
Jose Cuevas, I'm a driver for San Francisco Yellow Cab for the last 40 years, and I oppose to this bill.
My name is Ashwani Ari. I'm from San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance. Uber and Lyft are doing the same thing as taxi cabs. So why they should be exempt from anything? I oppose this bill. Thank you.
I'm Harbir Bath, 20 years San Francisco cab driver. I'll just throw analysis for you guys. They are doing the same thing we do, like pick up people for money. They are doing the same thing. This gentleman saying they do it for part-time. I probably agree with that. How about if we put the same body of people, you guys, on the chair, and they have the similar in another room doing 8 hours, 6 hours, and they take 50% of your salary. There's rules and regulations for you guys, no rules and regulations. How do you feel about it? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Kamalji Singh. I'm driving cab for 23 years in San Francisco. You're looking for this Uber, you check their background, they're 40, 50%, they're criminal people. Why they don't let them the background check, okay? I oppose this bill.
Hi, I'm Ed Healy. I'm a part-time taxi cab driver and part-time blogger. And I believe that the definition of a commercial vehicle as a vehicle for hire goes back a lot longer than 70 years. I would guess a couple hundred. I don't see any particular reason why you should innovate the meaning of the word for the purpose of these guys. Well, thanks. I'm, of course, against the bill.
My name is Ellis Bessie, and what really, I want explanation from is that Uber, Lyft, or the rest of them, they declare profit, and they say they are not commercial. So are the cab drivers that don't declare as billions of dollars of profit that will call themselves commercial? That's only the question I have. I'm against 828.
My name is Renata Vimyarkevich. I've been driving a taxi in San Francisco for 21 years. And I pay $900 a month just for my liability on my taxi. And they don't have to pay anything, maybe a few bucks. Why do I have to pay $900 a month in liability and they don't? Why are they allowed to work and drive on the streets? Every one cab that I see on the street in San Francisco, there's 10 Ubers around me and Lyft. And they're driving crazy. Just the other day, 3 of them crashed right into each other on Gary and Van Ness. And because they're looking at their phones and paying attention to that instead of driving.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
They don't deserve to be working.
My name is Joseph Awaga. I pay to drive a taxi. Why not they? They have to pay. No AB 828.
Okay.
My name is Zalalam Jima. I'm San Francisco taxi driver.
I'm Phil Sterling, driving over 30 years for Luxor Cab, and I opposed ABA 828, but also I oppose this Ponzi scheme. That's what they are. A ride share is when people go to get a ride across the bay, they go and get a free ride. These people aren't giving free rides. There's no ride share. It's commercial. That's what it is.
My name is Jack Pal Singh. I've been driving in San Francisco since '92. so I oppose 828. And Mr. Chairman, if we want to look on this matter, you are going to only in San Francisco more than 5,000 cab drivers out of job. They will be homeless. Their family will be hurt because with that little amount of money, we cannot afford to live in such expensive area. So we need money. So that's the way we cannot make any more. That doesn't mean we have to cruise around in the city for 1 hour, no customer, couple hours, no customer. So they are grabbing our business bit by bit. So then we all behind me and the 5,000 driver will be homeless very soon. Thank you.
My name is Jeffrey Rosen. I am a 20-year cab driver in San Francisco and co-founding member of the San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance. I find it offensive and just repugnant that we are not being treated equally in this. I respectfully urge your vote no on AB 828. Thank you.
I'm David DePuma. I'm a San Francisco taxi driver, and I'm here with the San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance. I oppose Bill AB 828.
Shamsuddin Hadan with Capital City Cab in Sacramento, and I'm opposing on AB 828 because we don't see why ride-sharing cannot pay for the commercial plate since they are making money, just like cabs. Thank you.
Now, my name is Harjeet Singh. I am driving San Francisco 20 years. You oppose Bill 828. Thank you.
My name is Jit Kotra. I'm driving 20 years. Yellow cab. We taxi doing the same job that the Uber doing that. Why they don't have a commercial license plate or commercial insurance when we doing the same job? Why is that different? Please treat us equal. Thank you.
My name is Andrew Mathias, and I'm a San Francisco taxi cab driver. And let's get down to the real base of this. The reason that they don't want to be registered as commercial vehicles is because they want to have no thresholds so they can continue to put cars on the street with no kind of barriers. They'd like to make it as easy as standing in line at the grocery store or filling up your tank full of gas. Come in and get a free tank of gas, and by the time you leave, you'll be an Uber driver. They're making money, they're commercial vehicles. I oppose this bill. Thank you.
My name is Karnail Singh. I am driving San Francisco 17 years. I am opposing this bill.
My name is Alan Freeberg. I've been a San Francisco cab driver for over 30 years, and I'm opposed to the bill. Thank you.
Austin Peterson, taxi driver, 27 years. How do you buy the DMV? That's kind of what I feel like is happening here. So please vote no.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. My name is Subha Janmas. I'm driving a taxi cab in San Francisco. Is the Uber and Lyft is a business is totally unfair, and the state and DMV is losing millions of dollars without the commercial plate. They're supposed to be they have commercial plate.
Okay,
thank you.
My name is Nazir Sadiq. I am driving for the last 22 years in San Francisco. America is the country of law and justice. Please bring them in the law and justice. They are not above the law. Thank you.
Good afternoon, committee members. Misty Johnson on behalf of the Taxi Cab Paratransit Association of California. It's a trade association representing a number of taxi cab operators. We're opposed to the bill for the reasons previously stated. However, just really quickly, we would remove our opposition if the committee amendment limiting the exemption to vehicles that only use to vehicles that drive 10 hours or less per week, and if the bill were amended to require a PUC reporting requirement and an enforcement mechanism. Thank you.
I'm Marcelo Fonseca, full-time taxi driver for 27 years. I'm serving my first term as on the board of directors, Yellow Cab San Francisco, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Tom Diesso, San Francisco cab driver since 1975 with San Francisco Yellow Cab Co-op and a board member also. And I oppose this bill on public safety because when you have commercial plates, then you need commercial insurance. If they don't have commercial insurance, the public is in danger because they're not adequately compensated in an accident. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ranjit Saroya, and I'm from Yellow Cab, San Jose. And I've been driving in that city for almost 23 years. And I couldn't understand how it can be a ride-share program when there's a person in need. They charge that almost like 9 to 10 times whatsoever their regular rates are. I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hi, Francis Fahey, San Francisco cab driver. Whether it's by smoke signals, telephone call, or radio, or an app, they're dispatching rides to their cars for money. It's a taxi cab company.
Hi, my name is Solomon. As long as they make money, they should pay the same. I say no.
My name is Ashebri Gabriselassie. I'm a San Francisco taxi driver. Recently, I bought a medallion about $250,000, and each month I pay $2,000 for a medallion fee. There is no special treatment. Let's play a fair game. Safety first. Thank you.
My name is Ming Si, and then I'm a San Francisco taxi driver. Almost a new driver, is about 2 years. And then that's not fair for the taxi and the Uber, because a lot of Uber, Sidecar, Lyft car, they can 3 company, 4 company in one car, but taxi driver cannot get another company to another fare. That means they can look around on the telephone in front of the windshield, maybe 3, 4, 5 telephone for different company, and then they driving like very dangerous in the city. If also in San Francisco, they now they approve on like a carpool. That means they can from A to B. In the middle, they have another rider. They can pick it up for the lower fare, but on the taxi company, they cannot do it this way.
Okay,
so
thank you, sir. Thank you.
My name is Cameron Tumarian. I'm a Sacramento taxi driver. All we are talking about here is asking for fair competition. As one of the drivers said, in New York, they cannot be competitive when they have to pay for commercial insurance. That's not fair to taxi drivers. Thank you.
Respected sir, I want to put a comparison before you from the association or regular taxi cab and as well as this Uber and Lyft, etc. The association regular taxi cabs are paying the revenue up to $1,000 every year, which is being increased day by year by year by the city or the county. Why they cannot pay the regular revenue as per the rules? The United States is the equal opportunity of the work as well as to get the benefits. When they are, every person is get the equal opportunity of the benefit, why they can't make the compliance of the law?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I oppose the bill. More one point to be discussed more, one sir. There is a fixed meter in the cab. They are transporting the passenger in $25.
Okay, thank you.
Whenever.
Thank you.
Okay, it's all right, sir. Thank you. I oppose this, strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you. All right.
I'm Mary McGuire. I'm a former taxi commissioner regulator appointed by Willie Brown and Gavin Newsom in San Francisco for their 7 years. And I would just like to point out really briefly something that hasn't been brought up. In your analysis, number 2, in defining the exclusion states that the vehicle is operated exclusively by the person to whom the vehicle is registered and insured. So I don't feel that this bill takes into account the various car rental companies there that exclusively rent to Uber and Lyft. And also the exemptions for TNC drivers whose vehicles are driven commercially 10 hours a week for less. How do you enforce that, really?
Okay.
That's not enforceable, and this seems like a thing where you're going to work out the details later. I think you should work out your details before you pass the bill. Thank you so much, and
Okay,
please
thank you. Last speaker.
Martin Kaczynski, I'm a cab driver in San Francisco. I oppose this bill. There's no need for make exceptions from the rules, which are very good right now. Commercial vehicle is a commercial vehicle. Those people like Uber and Lyft want to make you think they invented some new way of transporting people, like in Hollywood, Beam Me Up, you know, and moving people around. They are nothing else than cab drivers. There's cab companies. There's no difference between calling, raising your hand, or touching the phone to get your cab.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you. Good evening,
Okay,
sir.
we have one last speaker.
I'm the
right
last
here.
speaker, sir.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Please, the best of the interests of California state, please, the principle is no exception. We are kidnapped by this online very soon, the whole industry demolition very soon. And then you are only online only. When the network out, just like BART, when they strike, what kind of solution do you have? You have no solution.
Thank you.
The same as like this industry right now. We are demolition. We are little tiny, all the family make it on this job. But we almost align us like the parade. Explosion very soon. The cab driver had nowhere to go. But the government look like not care. Even they are trying to get the green light for anything that you want. Your wife can prostitution on the street, but not the other wife. That's kind of happening in the state of California. We had no more raining for 4 years already. That's all I want to mention. Because
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.